Forrest Gump's secret. Yes, I talk about that in the book. And if you haven't seen the movie, I think you're missing one of the best movies of all times. Tom Hanks' awesome performance included, of course. But the reason why I bring this fictional character of the movie, Forrest Gump, to this conversation in the book about those things that hold us stuck in life, often in unhappy places where we don't want to be, like just dreaming of a new job, a new career, working in your invention, dreaming of showing your new idea to the world, dreaming of having your own business, but feeling stuck, frozen in place. Well, what jumped immediately at me when I saw the movie was that Forrest Gump was the perfect example of a person without the extra weight and the chains of self-labels and self-imposed roadblocks. And Forrest Gump is, as you know, a slow-witted boy who has never seen himself as disadvantaged. Forrest apparently didn't have enough imagination to self-inflict that damage that most of us do. No preconceptions exist in this boy or man that keep him from being literally whatever he decides to be or doing whatever he decides to do in his life. And he succeeds at everything he does, in spite of his physical and mental limitations, and in fact probably because of the absence of something, like I said, that screws most of us, self-labeling and that self-doubt as the first roadblock to any idea that will move us forward. So that, yes, that limiting habit of building a preconception of who we are, or rather who we think we are, Forrest Gump doesn't stop and think whether he has the skills or the background or the experience to tackle the next thing he wants to do. And very importantly, if you notice in the movie, he doesn't first check and see if he's good at this kind of thing or he's bad at this kind of thing. He just goes, learns it, and becomes extraordinary at it. So, and also noticed how he doesn't stop and think of all the potential negative what ifs. What if it's too far? What if it's raining? What if it's too difficult? Forrest just goes for it, period. But even though this is a fictional character, the lesson here is very useful and very real, actually, in this real world. If you stop and think of how imaginary these things are, those self-placed roadblocks to our personal progress, we have no choice but to admit that they are total product of our imagination, which is what Forrest Gump simply skips. So when we plant a doubt ahead of us, like between ourselves and our dreams, such thing that we plant is truly 100% imaginary. And if you think of it, just as we plant this doubt, we may choose to build this imaginary bridge that brings us directly to our dream. But the truth is, both are imaginary, and we let those things hold us in place for way too long sometimes, and for the wrong reasons. So if we want to be happy, if we want to live like full lives, we are meant to change and move along with life and along with time. So we have to watch out for those self-labels, those labels that we place on ourselves, and notice how not real they are. That should help us travel light, because all that weight is truly not real. So that is the great lesson, I believe, of Forrest Gump. And now, for those who like to have things more scientifically supported, or for those who think that everything or believe that everything is in our brain, I invite you to read the most current information on neurological science and brain plasticity. Like brain plasticity meaning the ability of our brains to change. And the adult brain keeps shocking brain scientists. Change takes place constantly in our brains, young or adult brains. And the brain supports learning chemically, structurally, and it supports changes as we learn. We can change our behaviors, and by changing behaviors, we change our brain. So not only making your dreams real is possible and it's available, but your brain can also support those changes, no matter what age you are. So we can change and we can adapt to situations, but we need to stop labeling ourselves and then believing those labels to ultimately give those labels so much power that they keep us from making those changes that we really need to make in our lives.